Hey YouTube, welcome back to UniXTCG, and this is going to be a bit of a long opening because I got to address a couple things. But yes, I am finally back from Bandai Card Games Fest in Orlando. I was totally exhausted, spent all of yesterday sleeping, but now we are back on the grind, and there's a couple things I want to get out of the way, so yes, apologies for the long opening. One, Dragon Ball Super had a minimal presence at this card fest, and that is mainly because Battle Hour is in just under 2 weeks, and the powers that be that, you know, like the Toeis, the Shueishas, they wanted all of the focus to be over at Battle Hour. And because of that, we didn't have really any regionals. We didn't have a huge event. We had a side event, a couple side events that there's a lot of stuff to go into that, and I won't fully go all into that. However, yes, everything's going to be over at Battle Hour. You've got Nationals for Masters, you've got Worlds for Masters and Fusion World, you've got displays for all the games, you've got a bunch of just cool exclusive merchandise, and that's going to be amazing. Now, the second part I want to get at is that I will not be at Battle Hour. A lot of people have been asking me over the past couple of months. I was not chosen to be one of the just talents on stage. That's kind of a long little bit. If you guys have followed me since my Masters days, you know I have never technically been on stage for an official Dragon Ball event. And there's some red tape in the background for that, but I am still pushing through and I'm trying my best. So if you guys really wanted to see me on stage, hey, look, never say never, but it just won't be this time. But hey, I'm gonna keep pushing, and thanks to all of your support, one day I am sure they will change their mind. Now, that out of the way, as per usual on the normal little bits, if you like the content, like the video, and if you love the content, maybe even think about hitting that subscribe button. We are getting more and more of Set 5 spoilers, and therefore we are starting to get into the testing realm again. Tonight, this is a Wednesday, this is January 8th, we're doing our first Patreon testing session since Nationals, where we all just kind of get together, vibe out, practice, make sure we stay sharp. Right now we're practicing for the ultimate battles, but we will soon be practicing for the upcoming regional season as soon as we get full spoilers for Set 5. So if you want to see what that's about, you can always go down in the description and check that out. And then lastly, we are this close to getting to 1,000 subscribers on Universe X, which is my channel for manga, anime, and their games, and any amount of help helps. So if you guys would want to do me a favor and go over there and subscribe, maybe check out some videos. We're putting up videos on Daima. We're putting up videos on Gundam G-Quarks as we get more information on it. I am streaming Kingdom Hearts, and we will continue putting up Sparking Zero content. There's just a lot going on there. Dokkan, Legends, all that janks. So yeah, that would be much appreciated. And with that long intro out of the way, let's hop in to the spoilers that are outside of the next two decks I have to cover, which are Green Namek Goku and Yellow Janemba. We're just talking about the spoilers that have come outside of those decks that kind of enhance the videos that we've already done. So finally, let's hop into it. So as I stated, we're really going to be going over the cards that aren't in green and yellow because those have their own separate videos that we're going to be going over, and we're going to be focusing on the cards that add on to the red, blue, and black videos that we've done so far. So the first card I'm getting out of the way is Tamagami number 3. Now this is actually really cool. You have blocker and permanent. This card cannot be KO'd once per turn. It's a 2-cost, 15k power, 5k. This is interesting. I don't think it's gonna be the last Tamagami 3 card we have, because this is rather, I'm not gonna say underwhelming, but it's interesting. If we had a sideboard in Fusion World, this card would be so much better. But as it stands, this card is going to be very good against yellow. It's gonna be very good against green. It's gonna be very good against black. Now, when it decently against black, blue and red will just no-diff this card immediately. I hope that its SPR, its alt art, has the red heat face, or if they save that for another card. But this is actually pretty interesting. I'm just gonna, it's kind of a lukewarm card. It's very format dependent, and just looking at what we're seeing coming out of this this set, it looks like some of its biggest ops, like both red and blue, will be very good decks. So I don't really think this card is going to have a massive impact when it comes to, you know, what we're looking at coming out of the set so far. And next we are looking at a Bulma Mini DA Super Combo. Now, it's not like the Super Combo has any cool effects. It's more the fact that we are hitting a critical mass to the point where if Daima gets a top 5 searcher, it's popping off. If Daima gets a top 5 searcher, it's kind of over, because there's enough Daima cards to where anything you hit outside of the secret rare will pretty much be cash money, and that's where we want to be when it comes to our top 5 searchers. At this point, they might even give it a top 3 searcher, which is, yes, less reach, but if you're trying to not bottom deck secret rares, provided that we're playing a full set next one, which I don't really see at the moment why we wouldn't. I think that we are really seeing a point where a top 5 or top 3 searcher is going to go crazy for Diamond. Now, moving over to blue, this SR is not underwhelming in any way, shape, or form. This is a 4 cost 30k, and normally, yes, 4 cost 30k, there's got to be a really tight effect onto it, and there is. On play, you're going to be choosing a 1 battle card with a cost of 4 or less in your opponent's battle area, and you're returning it to the owner's hand. After doing so, when attacking, if you have 20 or more cards in your drop, your opponent can attack using battle cards that cost 3 or less during your opponent's next turn. This is absolutely crazy, because this right here, this singular card, when you just go through a revolving door of the colors, you are putting a lot of red out of the game. Red is going to have to really lean into its mid-range cards, its Glorios, its secret rares, its double strikers, to even compete around this card, because it's going to cut off your Daima Gokus. It's going to cut off actually quite a bit. Your SR Gohans. It's going to just really shut those cards down. When it comes to blue, most of your lower costs are kind of setup cards anyway. You might have a couple cards if you're running, like, you know, Videls. It'll cut off Videls, which is going to be very strong in the mirror. The crit Vegetas, but that's like really hit or miss. It really, though, is going to make it very hard for red to operate on its lower end. Yellow has to drop half of its package. Yellow has always been known as a very strong 2 and 3 drop kind of deck with the ability to go into heavier cards. And luckily this set does go into heavier cards, but this is really going to hurt those decks. Now, speaking of decks that it's going to hurt, black also catches a vicious stray, because the entire baby strategy, the mid-range baby strategy, is donezo. You will not be able to attack with your first Rildo or your second Rildo. You will not be able to attack with your Trunkses. You will not be able to attack with, like, it's just actually criminal. Any of the babies that they just dropped, the Super Baby 1, SR, all these things just get clapped by this card. I cannot believe that they made a card that invalidated this much of the game. Like, I think that honestly, this card is going to get into the game and then immediately get slotted within the first couple of regionals. It's just actually, like, I'm not saying it ends the game. I'm not saying it destroys the game. What I'm saying is it invalidates 60% of this game's current aggression. And if that's the case, why would you play a color that's not blue? Quite, yeah, I think there are still a lot of reasons to play other colors. Leaders can get around this, and there's a lot of cards that come out. Realistically, black can start getting above the 4 cost threshold as early as turn 3 with an energy marker. So we're not completely behind. And then green always had a decent matchup, or just winning matchup into blue, and that has not changed. Green deck is still slamming down cards and getting around this floodgate effect, but man, this is not it. And when I say not it, I mean this is just this. I on paper, this card's asinine. Now the Vegito Glaze does not stop. You have this Candy Vegito, but it's a 2 cost, 15k power, 10k combo power. Activate main, place this card in the battle area at the bottom of his owner's deck. If you have 20 or more cards in your drop, add up to 1 Son Goku with a cost of 3 or less and 1 Vegeta with a cost of 3 or less from your drop to your hand. So the cool thing about this card is that there are no dead points on it, because it recurs a 3 or less Vegeta and up to 1 3 or less Goku. What you can actually do is play this card for 2, attack your opponent, combo a Vegeta or Goku to push it to 20 or 25, and then pop it, and then you're going to put it at the bottom of your deck, and then fish out those 2 cards, one of which you just comboed. So it doesn't lose any economy when it comes to your hand size and whatnot, while it can still get in some damage. It may be subtle, it may sound subtle, but this is a very, very, very powerful recursion effect, and you don't lose anything. You really don't lose anything. You play it, it's actually a net 0. +1 if you count the attack. You could be at 5 cards in hand, you play it, you combo to get above the leader, you pop it, you get 2 cards back. You're still where you were, and you took a card from your opponent, or maybe even pressed life. It's just very, very strong, and the Vegito Glaze is at critical mass. Next, you have this Vegeta. This Vegeta is just a 2 cost 20k with 5k combo power. When attacking, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, then place the top 3 cards of your deck into your owner's drop. It's just really trying to get you there while trying to awaken. We have yet to see if this card is going to be crucial to the strategy, but awakening, milling, and pressing for neutral damage all on 2 sounds pretty good to me so far. So we will see. It's definitely going to be able to be recurred with like cards that we just saw before. So yeah, this is looking pretty solid in general. And now we have a card that came out a bit ago. You have See You. And See You, this card is scaring me. It is a 3 cost, meaning it can be brought back by the SR Vegeta. Activate main. If you have 20 more cards in your drop, choose up to 1 Son Goku with a cost of 3 in your battle area, and this gains double strike for the turn. Now, then you can choose up to 1 battle card in your opponent's battle area and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. So you are actually just hitting the absolute lightning, but you're also giving Goku double strike, and we have not yet seen the Goku SR, but I thought the Goku SR, in a previous video, I thought that it would give itself double strike by some graveyard, some drop threshold or something like that. But now that you have this card, it's scarier because that Goku is probably just going to pump itself to infinity. It's probably going to be like, per every 3 cards in your drop, gain 2,000 power. It's going to be something incredibly disgusting, because this card is giving it double strike. So it's probably just going to be a big boost. Maybe 1,000 per card. I don't even know. We just don't. This deck is going to be dangerous. I do not want to see what this deck is going to be capable of when we get to the next set. Oh my gosh, like all of my red flags are popping off. And if I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong. And I need to be, because this looks like they just decided to go tier 0. And we really need to see how this goes up. Because maybe I am just wrong, and like I said, I would love to be in that case. Now, moving over, we now have Unrivaled Fusion Father, because the Vegito Glaze is not done yet. It is a 1 cost, activate main, choose up to 1 Vegito with a cost of 4 more in your battle area, and it gains plus 10,000 power for the turn. And then, if you have 20 or more cards in your drop, it gains another 10,000. So, just in case we didn't need it, 4 cost Vegito goes up to a 50k. 5 cost Vegito goes up to a 50k but can attack twice, and 6 cost Vegito just a casual 60,000 if it doesn't have its permanent up, and it can also attack twice. So yeah, for some reason we just needed to push these numbers. Not sure if this card will make it to the main board, but it's still just a very, very, very powerful card in general. Now we're gonna move over to the black cards, and we've got this newly released just a day or 2 ago max Son Goku. This is actually pretty cool. It's a 5 cost, 30k power, 5k combo power. On play, if you remove the energy marker to use this card, draw 2 cards. Then activate main once per turn, discard 1 card from your hand, then switch this card in a battle area to active mode. Now, it's funny to say in a battle area, because I guess they were just trying to get away from people saying this could have it happen in the energy, even though we should know that once in energy, these cards don't have any effects. But this may be a hint that certain cards will be able to activate effects in the energy. I think that this is a very interesting little bit of words here that could show that maybe that's an intention they have for later, cards in energy that have effects. Now, that being said, you've got this draw 2 ability, which can be really really cool. We already know that Super Saiyan 4 resolving and not getting dealt with is one of the most detrimental things to human life, right? You could hit a Trunks on turn 2, right? And then just like leave him there. If you have the energy marker especially, have Trunks, leave him upright. Hopefully he doesn't get removed. Your turn 3, you're casting your 3 energy plus your energy marker to play Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku. You're getting that energy marker back when you swing, and then you're drawing 1 at the end of turn. They then have to attack over this guy. You probably have a strong grip. You just drew 1 as well. Your turn 4. You are tapping 4 energy plus your energy marker for Son Goku. This Son Goku. You are then drawing 2 cards. After you draw those 2 cards, you now have the ability to get a leader swing in, your Super Saiyan 4 Goku swing in, getting your energy marker back. You're this guy, and you discard a card, and you swing with this guy again. Then you draw 1 card. So Goku's effect at the end of the turn is replacing, or Super Saiyan 4 Goku's effect at the end of the turn is replacing the card that you discarded with this, but you did just see 1 card for draw, 1 card for leader swing, 1 card for Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and 2 cards for Super Saiyan 5, or Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That's crazy. And just to run that back, if you walk in your turn with Super Saiyan Trunks SR and the Super Saiyan 4 Goku SCR, You are drawing for turn. You are drawing for leader swing. You are swinging for 30 with your Goku. Then you are tapping 5 for this guy, drawing 2. Then you're swinging with Goku once. Then you're discarding with Goku to swing again, and you're drawing with Super Saiyan 4 Goku at the end of turn. So you lost like barely, like you broke so even. You literally discarded the card and you played this guy from turn. So you literally minus 2 cards from hand, but you went up 4 cards. So that's a +2 in sheer hand advantage, but you also swung for 32 times and you saw 5 cards off the top of your deck. This cannot be understated. The math is crazy. This deck will be one of the most consistent decks in the game with turns like this resolving 2, maybe even 3 times a game. That's just what it is. Now, support for the Bardock side, right? You got a 5-cost Bardock, and this guy is interesting. He's basically just like the Double Striker, except he provides critical, and then on top of that, he only needs to be comboed with 1 card. But he only works in the Bardock deck, so he's just specifically Bardock support, which is fine. Bardock is still a strong, fine leader, but he's only going to need to combo 1 card, so that means sometimes you're going to be able to just use your leader effect depending on how your deck's built, and that's actually really, really cool. He has critical, even though, yeah, he's critical as a base, so he's swinging for 30 critical, which is always going to be really, really strong. And like I said, combo with 1 battle card while he's in battle, and he's going to be able to KO something with 4 cost or less. That's a very, very strong number. There's a lot of threats with 4 cost or less. You're opposing Vegetos, Glorios, Super Saiyan 4 Gokus, the Trunkses if they're protected. There's a whole lot of things you can do here. And on top of that, if you don't want to go in for the double strike yet, this guy can go in and provide some critical pressure to beat your opponent's hand or deny them from life to set them up for the crucial push with double strike. Now, speaking of support, while Bardock could have probably used support, Baby I don't think really needed support, but here it is anyway. And this is a 3-cost 25k 5k combo power card. Auto, once per turn, when a card is used in a combo from your battle area while this card is in your battle, or in a battle, draw 2 cards and discard 1 card from your hand. This Super Baby 2 is nasty. Imagine a world where you have this Super Baby on board, right? And you have Trunks in your hand or on board. But let's say you're only on 4 energy, but you're awakened. Let's say you're on 5 energy and you're awakened. Imagine a world where you can play, your, Trunks out, and you attack with your Trunks for 20,000. Cool. All right, that's fine. That's fine. But then you can also swing with this guy, or like, you know what? Let's just go full value. You have Baby 1 on board. You have the baby childhood form. You attack with your leader, and you draw your card, and you combo with baby form, childhood form. You go up to 30k swing, and then you play your Trunks out from hand. Then Trunks attacks for 20k. You can combo, you cannot combo, it's up to you. But Trunks swings with his 20k. And after Trunks swings with his 20k, you are going to be able to then turn Super Baby 2 sideways, this Super Baby 2, and combo with the Trunks. Because you're comboing with the Trunks, you get to choose which order these activate in. You're going to be able to activate Baby Super Baby 2 to draw 2 cards, discard 1. If you discarded a card that has Machine Mutant in its name, or Brainwash, like, you can use Trunks to pick up another card and the card you just discarded. And for you guys that don't know, like, with the hand advantage, if you started off with this, like, right, you are literally swinging with Trunks, then you're swinging with Baby. You're gonna draw 2, discard 1, but then Trunks is gonna pick up 2. So, like, you went plus in that situation. Like, oh my gosh, this, like, it didn't need this. The only saving grace from combos like this is if your opponent's playing blue and they played Vegeta, you can't swing with none of this. So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Now, the thing though is, while they will lose out on swings if that Vegito Floodgate is here, just understand that this card literally says once per turn when a card is used in a combo from your battle area while this card is in battle. Yeah, so it has to be while this card is in battle, but it can happen on your opponent's turn too. Now, we all know that using it on your opponent's turn can get scary because you are susceptible to your opponent's cards. But if you have Trunks on board, you can have a little bit of layer of protection. It really depends on how Baby is gonna go. But we are sitting here at the point where Vegito supremely messes with this deck because of their costs, and that is something that will have to be studied quite closely in the upcoming meta. Now, moving back to the Gogeta cards, because like I said before, I wasn't really that impressed with Gogeta. He's getting a lot of support, but so far, I think this support can be used in any deck that's black. Now, we've got Ultimate Sparking. And this is a 1-cost activate battle. Opponent's turn. Your cards that are in battle get plus 20k, and then if you removed an energy marker to use this card, choose up to 1 card in your battle card in your opponent's battle area, and it can't attack for the turn. So this is very interesting. You're essentially going to stop 2 attacks. Going up by 40k in most cases is going to stop an attack, and then on top of that, you're just going to choose something else and be like, no. Now, for people that played Masters, this is going to be a very, very, very reminiscent feeling of where you have to sequence your attack. When this card is in potential play, when you're facing black and they have energy up, you cannot swing with your leader first, because if you swing with your leader first, they can blank your leader swing and then stop a battle card swing. Whereas if you have 1 battle card and 1 leader and you attack with your battle card, they can use this card, but they don't get any extra option out of it. Then you attack with your leader, or you play a second battle card and you swing with that. So this card is going to change up sequencing, and I think that Masters players are going to recognize this for what it is and see how the tightening of sequence happens. Between Vegito being a floodgate and cards like this, we're starting to see some of the direction suspiciously shape back to a Masters-like flow. Now we've got the Soul Punisher card, and the Soul Punisher card just says activate main, choose 1, choose up to 1 battle card in your opponent's battle area and KO it, and if you removed an energy marker to use this card, choose up to 2 battle cards in your opponent's battle area and KO them. So this is like souped up 10 times Kamehameha. Why is Gogeta hitting harder than Super Saiyan 4 Goku? I don't know, I guess it's just the fan polls, but realistically, this is very strong. The fact that you can just pay 4 to KO anything is insane. Before, you had to work with Bardock, and yes, this doesn't leave a body, and in some cases that's going to be the hard part, but the ability to KO something like an 8-cost Broly, a 6-cost Vegito, this is going to be huge. The fact that you can now also use this to destroy 2 cards is also huge. Could you imagine if you think you're ahead because you played 2 2 Ultra Instinct Goku SRs or SERs, and your opponent just plays this with the energy marker and then blows up both of them? Yeah, it's not going to feel good at all. So this is a really, really strong card, but it looks like more of a mid-range control type black, and we're going to have to see where it fits in. And yeah, that pretty much is the last little bit of the card so far. So I really do think this is starting to shape up. I really, really, really do. This set is high octane. This is the first power creep set I think that this game has truly had. Some people will think it's Top Coup, but I think Top Coup was like a blip. Everything else in that set was not nearly the same power creep. Top Coup is just strong in its own, whereas in this set, pretty much every color is just getting this huge bump in power, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. So yeah, stay tuned on this channel because we will be putting out my overview so far for both Namek, Goku, and Janemba in the upcoming days. We're also going to be diving into more Gundam stuff. I did procure a second beta box, and that was rough. But I did procure a second beta box, so we're going to be starting to get some games. I'm going to set up my top-down, recording setup, and we're going to get some games on there. So if you were looking forward to some Gundam gameplay, make sure you check that out. But yeah, we've got a lot to go over, and I am about to ravage this tournament season. I promise you. That is the goal for this year. So yeah, look out for all that. We're gonna have a great time. Make sure you go down in the description and check out the stores for both Mystic TCG and Eclipse. Check out their online stores, get your pre-orders in where you can, and I will see you guys in the next video. One more time for the people in the back, if you'd like to help me out, go over to Universe X, give it a subscription. We are 70 subscribers away from 1,000, and that would mean the world to me. So thank you, and I will see you next time.